It's all you.
All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Geek Vice, a podcast by a few geeks just trying to be heard in a world now flooded with geeks. Our normal host, John Guzman, aka Logtar, is not here. He is off gallivanting around the world. So you're stuck with me and Kip. I'm
Mostly you.
more, yeah, mostly me. I'm Morph, your bartender for the zombie apocalypse. And yes, I am drinking. I am drinking a Boulevard Wheat tonight.
Yeah, I'm hitting the hard stuff as well. I got water.
Yeah, well, I've got a glass of water over here too. I've already drank quite a bit this weekend. For those of for those of you that are not in the United States, this is today is a holiday here in the United States, so banks are closed, no mail delivery, and most people don't have to work. So, um, yeah, I drank a little bit more than I normally do. Plus, I worked on the house a lot more than I normally do too, so
Nice.
I'm tired. The other guy we got here with us is Kip, a man boldly going from the couch to the kitchen and back again. How are you,
Woohoo!
sir?
I'm doing well. I'm not drinking. Well, I am just water. But I did have a bowl of cereal before the broadcast, so I'm good.
So you're golden.
I am golden, literally and figuratively.
So since Logtar's gone, we can mark off his topic for today. So you're just stuck with the two of us, and we've got a few uh, what do we call them? Topics, maybe?
Round table? Yeah, sure. What the
Roundtable.
hell?
Sure, that's what we got.
Yeah, trust us, we've done this before.
Yeah, you'd think we were new to this or something. Never done one of these before. So what do you got there, Kip? Why don't you start us off?
Well, as you know, I play a lot of Call of Duty on my Xbox. My Xbox 360. I don't have Xbox One yet. Um, And a couple of weeks ago, I was playing, and I'd get like, I don't know, just a few minutes into a game, and it would just freeze. And so I restarted it. Get a few minutes into a game, it would freeze. Took the disc out, kind of cleaned it off, put it back in. Same thing. So started doing some searching on the internet for what the hell do you do when you have a scratched 360 disc. And the one I came across that I thought I'd give a try was using toothpaste to fix the scratches on your disc.
Oh, please tell me that worked.
Well, it tells you to take toothpaste. So I used a sample I got from my dentist,
Oh,
and it said to
jeez.
make sure it's not the whitening kind and make sure it doesn't have crystals in it. I didn't see either one of those words written on this one, so I used Crest Pro Health, brought to you by my dentist. So it says to put some on a lint-free cloth and rub it on in straight lines, not round and around. Don't do circular motions. Like go back and forth across the disc. Don't go concentric with it.
Right?
And then completely coat it. Let it dry for 10 minutes, and then rinse it off. And then using a lint-free cloth again, get rid of the excess and dry the disc off. I got all that done. I held my disc under a light, and the surface looked like hell. It looked worse than it did before I started, and I thought, well, I just totally fucked my game all up. But before broadcasting, I played like 3 or 4 games all the way through. It did not lock up on me once, so it worked. So the
Holy cow.
miracle cure for a scratched 360 disc is toothpaste.
Awesome.
They also had another one on the website. I'll put the link on the Facebook page. But there was also another one if it was a different kind of damage to your disc using chapstick. So,
Really?
oh yeah, if this wouldn't have worked, I would have went to the chapstick method. which sounds like a sex thing, but I
And
was
here we
shocked.
are. Welcome to Porn Studios.
Yeah, that's right. But seriously, I got done and I looked at the disc under the light, and it's like, holy shit, I made this worse. I mean, the thing is completely covered with scratches. It's like, man, I'll never be able to play this game again. But I played 4 games and it never locked up on me once. So
Wow.
awesome, it
That's
worked.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little shocked by this. The toothpaste is not. I mean, I've heard people say like surfboard wax or something that's kind of a clear polish type stuff that you can polish out. Surfboard wax they use to get the scratches out of the surfboards.
Yeah.
So it's like that would make sense to me. It fills in the scratch, smooths it over. That would make sense. Toothpaste does not make sense.
Well, when I was told a friend about my disc being scratched, I said disc. He said that to fix a DVD, use like a mild car wax.
Yeah.
So when I did a Google search on this, I really expected it to say use car wax. But now that I think about it, I'm wondering, are we brushing our teeth with car wax? Is this the same stuff as car wax? But
well, you are kind of waxing your teeth. I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It makes the disc look like you really effed it up, but it worked. I can play Call of Duty Ghosts once more.
Oh, speaking of Call of Duty Ghosts, you should. Do you have all the map packs and all the extra crap for it already?
Yeah, I paid for that.
Okay. Because I was gonna say they're running a big special on those right now on Xbox. Games with Gold or whatever.
Yeah. Right now, I got. Well, speaking of games with Gold, I got Dishonored, and that's not too shabby. And then I'm liking it okay, but the game I like the most right now, I got it from the library. I'm actually thinking about purchasing it. Is Diablo 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I am liking that game a lot. And I know it's old and blah blah blah, but I'm having fun with it. Well, the new one's coming out this month.
Well, it's just it's the expansion or whatever to it, but yeah. I mean, but still, I have Diablo and Diablo 2, but they're not for the console. They're only on the computer. So that's how old mine go.
Yeah, and that doesn't do my 360 console any good, but
no.
But yeah, I had to since my Call of Duty Ghost discs were scratched, I had to find an alternative game to play, and I tried Forza 4, Dishonored, Need for Speed, and then Diablo 3. And so far out of all those, Diablo 3 has been my favorite. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I know Logtar will be happy about that because I think he got Diablo 3 on. He talked about that last week, playing it on his PS4.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And you get to pick what kind of character you want. Of course, I picked a barbarian because mindless button pushing is what I'm all about. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't blame you there.
Yeah. So, if your disc is scratched, try this. If it doesn't work, go to the library, get Diablo 3, and play that. That's the KIP method of fixing your Xbox 360.
That sounds like a great idea. Yay, KIP. Solving problems. Shoot. So I guess it's my turn now.
Yes, it is.
First of all, do you happen to have our Gmail account pulled up?
I can.
I have to see if anyone emailed us, because I put the challenge out to see if anyone would email us. But while you're doing that, I will talk about the Wolf Among Us finale, the last chapter of that game. And I'll put this out there that I got so busy with other stuff going on that this came out a couple months ago and I didn't realize it. So I just kind of been sitting there for a while, but it does a really good job of catching you back up. Each chapter has done that. They kind of give you a refresh of what's happened and what's been going on to get you caught back up with it so you can keep playing on. And throughout this game, I felt like there were choices that you could make that would actually steer the game in a particular direction. And this chapter, although it really good and puts a very good, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to try really hard not to spoil it. This chapter does a very good job of tying all the loose ends together to finish this story out. But this episode made it feel like the choices you made didn't really matter, or they didn't give you. There was a couple times where they put you in a situation where you're trying to dissolve something. You can either escalate this conflict and make it an all-out brawl, or you can try to diffuse the situation and try to end it peacefully or more peacefully. But
You're talking about Wolf Among Us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The options there for this, making these decisions, they didn't have the options that I wanted to do. Like, it was, in one situation you could either you had confronted the ultimate bad guy that you figured out who this guy is, and so you go after him, and he says, well, I didn't do it, but this guy did over here, one of his little henchmen, and he's willing to turn his henchman over to you if you just take him and walk out and leave it as is. And of course I didn't want to do that. I don't want this guy, but I wanted to use him to cause everyone else, like, to flip on everyone else, but I never had that opportunity. And so I want to go back and play through this episode more than any of the others. I want to go back and play through this episode and maybe choose different answers to questions to see if it changes the game. But overall, this game felt like it was very straightforward. Like, it was very, it was taking you in a certain path, and you didn't really have a choice until the very end. And even then, your choice didn't really matter all that much.
Did it ruin the game for you having it that way?
No, not really. It made the episode go a lot quicker. Some of the episodes would take somewhere for an hour and a half to 2 hours to kind of process all the scenes and figure out, because it's a murder mystery. So a lot of the other episodes are trying to figure out what's going on and solve riddles, basically. But this episode was, you knew exactly who the bad guy was, and you're going after him. It was the climax. It's the climax of a movie, the last few minutes where really nothing shocking happens. So I guess it's not really surprising that there wasn't a lot of twists and turns to it, but it just didn't feel like it was the same as the other episodes in that sense. But still really good, and I recommend anyone. I mean, I don't think it's all that expensive. I want to say for all 5, I think I paid $20 to get all 5 episodes.
How many hours of gameplay did you think you got out of that?
Somewhere between 7 and 10 hours, I would think.
Per episode or total?
No, total. Because now, since they're all out, you could get it and just play through it all at once, and it might go a little quicker that way, because you could just kind of keep going. There were points where you're like, when I got done with an episode, I'm like, man, I wish I didn't have to wait a month for the next one to come out.
Okay.
Because I left some pretty good cliffhangers to it, and it's kind of a fun. If you've ever played a Telltale game, then this won't be all that surprising. But if you haven't, like The Walking Dead that they did, or I'm trying to think of some of their others. I can't. I know they have a Borderlands one coming out. But this, um, and then they have The Wolf Among Us, which takes place in the Fables world. But it's a lot of quick time events, and it's a lot of put you in a situation, put you in a conversation with somebody, and then you get a short period of time to pick one of four answers or one of four responses to a question or a situation.
Okay.
And depending on how you respond, depends on how they react. And there would be little things that would pop up, like if you're talking to Snow White and you say something that she doesn't like or something she really likes, it would pop up that says Snow White will remember this. And I don't know if that's always a good thing or a bad thing. Some of that gets tied up in this last episode, like you basically have a bunch of people that you've interacted with all in one room. You're basically putting the bad guy on trial. If I chose to bring him back alive, I don't know what would happen if you chose to bring him back dead. That was an option. So maybe I'll have to play through and try that one and see what happens, because that might change the thing altogether.
That'd be cool. Yeah, just make completely different choices than you did the first time through and see what
And
happens.
that's kind of the fun stuff. I mean, that's the replayability of this thing, and I haven't had a chance to play through this again. But I'm definitely going to give it a shot, try to play through it another couple times and see what happens. So
this is the last episode of the Wolf Among Us
yeah,
series.
yep. And this is chapter 5, so it's only 5 chapters. It's not all that long. It's not like a Final Fantasy game or even Diablo, where you're talking 15, 20, 30 hours to get through. And that's avoiding all the other things you can do in those games, or like Grand Theft Auto. But it's a specific story they're trying to tell, and you have to kind of think of it as different. It's not necessarily you playing a game. It's like a choose your own adventure book. It's like you get to pick. They tell you the story of the situation, and then you get to pick how you respond to the situation, and then that chooses whether you go to page 12 or page 22.
Okay.
So, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like a good time. I haven't sunk anything into that yet, but there's probably something I will do when I can just download the whole thing at one time and sink some time into it.
Yeah, and you can do that now. You could get all 5 episodes or all 5 chapters now without and then have them all. You're not gonna have to wait for anything else to come out. I need to look it up, and I haven't done that yet. I know they've done The Walking Dead 2, or I guess a sequel to Telltale's first one. So I'll be curious to see if the popularity of Wolf Among Us will allow them to do a second one of these, and that could be kind of fun too.
Well, I saw on their website that they're teasing a Game of Thrones.
Yes, that's the other one that's supposed to be coming out here at some point.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, maybe when I finish Diablo, I'll give Wolf Among Us a try. At least with the download, I don't have to worry about scratching the disc.
Yeah, exactly.
If I scratch that disc, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you'll have a little bit more of a problem than normal. I don't think toothpaste is going to fix that one.
Probably not.
So the other stuff that I watched this weekend or did this weekend this last week was I am caught up on Doctor Who. I watched episode 1 and episode 2, which came out on Saturday, just a couple of days ago. And episode 1 it's a premiere, so it's a little bit longer. I think it was an hour and a half, but most of your episodes are going to be an hour long. And this one was kind of fun because it's the first appearance of the new Doctor, played by Peter Capaldi. And for the last few seasons of Doctor Who, you've had some very young guys: David Tennant, Matt Smith, Christopher Eccleston, who was in the last Thor movie. He was
He's also in
Malekith.
he's also in that The Leftovers on HBO.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, you've had some guys that are fairly young looking, that have been playing the Doctor, and now you have Peter Capaldi, who I don't actually know how old he is, but he looks quite a bit older. He's got a wrinkled face. He's got gray curly hair. He does not look like some young buck. Like what? Let's put it this way: Peter Capaldi is not going to show up on the CW. If that puts it in perspective.
He's not going to be on Pretty Little Liars or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But with that brings this idea of it's almost like the grizzled old man type thing, and that really comes through in the first episode. First of all, it's his first episode, so every time the Doctor regenerates, which brings in a new actor for it, that's how they write it into the script. When the Doctor dies, he regenerates and changes his look completely, changes his accent, changes the way he looks, changes his accent, he still remembers his past, but usually in that first couple episodes he doesn't remember everything. It takes a little while for all the memories to come flooding back to him. So this first episode is kind of fun because he walks around like he doesn't really know what he's doing. He yells at people like he's a grumpy old man, which is kind of funny because he looks like a grumpy old man. And
nice.
And it also puts him. It showcases him in this first episode as this is not the Doctor that you've seen before. This episode, it all centers around a robot who is killing people and stealing parts of them to try to make him more human, so that he can then reach the promised land or paradise. However, depends on how he's talking on what he calls it. But basically, it's trying to reach heaven. And as a robot, robots can't. He keeps saying that's his programming, is to reach this place, and so this is how he's supposed to do it. And it's at the very end of the episode, the Doctor is put in a position where he is face to face with this robot and telling the robot that he's not going to, that the Doctor doesn't kill people, and so the only way this is going to end is if the robot kills himself. And the robot says that is not in his programming. Self-preservation is part of his code. And so it's an interesting standoff. And then it cuts away to other people, and then it just shows the robot stuck to the top of a building, like a cathedral, like the cross or whatever coming off the top of a cathedral. This robot has been impaled by it, and it leaves it at that. It doesn't tell you who did it. You don't know if the Doctor pushed him off. You don't know if the robot jumped himself. You don't know how it worked, but it was just that conflict there was a different type of conflict than has been in the Doctor Who episodes that I've seen. And I haven't seen any of the original series. I've only seen the new series, starting with Christopher Eccleston. So I don't consider myself a complete expert, but this Doctor seems to be completely different from anything that I've seen, and so I'm kind of interested to see where this takes it. because he kind of seems a little more angry, a little less happy-go-lucky, and a little more understanding that the decisions he makes affects other people, and he doesn't take that too kindly. So that'll be kind of fun. The first episode just started off the season really well. The second episode brings into question, brings back the Daleks, and they're basically look like, for those that don't know, they kind of look like R2-D2, except they've got like a giant like plunger on the front and a one eyepiece, and they shoot lasers, and all they do is walk around, say exterminate, exterminate, and just want to kill everything and destroy everything. Well, in the second episode, the Doctor and Clara run into a group of humans that are in space battling against the Daleks and failing miserably because the Daleks are basically indestructible. But they have come across and captured this Dalek that doesn't want to destroy the humans, wants to destroy the Daleks, and that's completely different from anything else. And so the Doctor thinks maybe this is the one Dalek that is a good Dalek, and he keeps saying that, well, there can't be any good Daleks. There's only bad Daleks. The only
good Dalek is a dead Dalek.
Pretty much, yeah. And so the Doctor and Clara and a couple of other these humans that they've run into that are military type people shrink down and go inside this Dalek to figure out what the problem is. And I'm not going to spoil what the problem is, but it definitely puts a different look on things. This idea of the first thing that came to my mind when I saw it was the Magic School Bus. Do you remember the Magic School Bus?
I do remember the Magic School Bus.
When they would always shrink down and then go inside somebody who's sick and watch the antibodies fight off viruses. And so that's pretty much what you get to see Dalek antiviruses try to fight off the Doctor and Clara and these other humans that are inside, and they're just as ruthless as the Dalek itself. So it's kind of fun. The big reveal on this one was the Doctor when the Doctor tries to fix this Dalek, so that they end up fixing it. It ends up becoming bad again and wanting to destroy everything. So then they're like, well, maybe we need to try to do this. And the Doctor hooks his own memories into the Dalek to try to give it this peace and this idea that there are good things out there. And all the Dalek takes from the Doctor is the hatred that the Doctor has for the Daleks. Backstory for, I know who haven't seen who, the Daleks destroyed the Doctor's homeworld, and supposedly destroyed that entire planet and everyone on it, and the Doctor is the last one of those of the Time Lords left. So he has this already built-in hatred for the Daleks, and that's what this Dalek pulls from him, which is, again, the other Doctors were always happy-go-lucky, no problems at all, happy, just cheerful, just goofing off, and a lot of funny stuff. Well, this isn't the second episode, and they've already, in the first episode, he's a grizzled old man. This episode, they bring out this pure hatred for the Daleks, and so this is definitely going to be a different season from what we've seen before. And it's a lot of fun. I recommend it.
I think, well, since I don't watch Doctor Who, you'll have to forgive my ignorance, but didn't the girl they cast to be the sidekick, didn't she quit? Or didn't she say she didn't want to be part of it anymore or something like that?
Well, they've had a few of them, and that might have been the last one that was there, which was Amy Pond, I believe. And I'm trying to think. She was actually in. What is her name? What is her real name? I can't think of it. Um, but she was actually in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think she was.
To the new one?
Yeah, now I have to look it up.
Jenna Coleman?
Could be. Now I just ran a complete blank. But yes, actually, that's the doctor. That's the doctor's companion now.
Jenna Coleman is?
Yeah, she plays Clara Oswald. The one that was in. Her name was Amy Pond.
Karen Gillan?
Yes, Karen Gillan. There you go. See,
I'm the guy who didn't even watch the show and I knew this stuff.
Yeah. I really liked Amy Pond. She was really good in it. But the companions for the Doctor change, sometimes change as probably more frequently than the Doctor even does. It's kind of just one of those, hey, I'm here for a while and I like traveling with this guy, but he lives forever and I don't, so I don't want to stick around for, I'm getting tired of doing this, so I'm going to go on, he's going to drop me off back at my place and I'm going to just go on with my life type thing. Also in the previous, or at least every season since it got restarted, they have kind of created a love interest between the companion and the Doctor, and now that the Doctor is probably old enough to be Clara's father, they have or maybe even grandfather. They have put it out there definitely that there is not going to be a love interest there, and they've made that clear in the show as well. It's in the first 2 episodes. It's been pretty blatant that he's kind of the grumpy old man, and she's the daughter or granddaughter that's there going, come on, let's do this, and I don't want to do that type thing. So it's fun. If you haven't watched Doctor Who, this is a good place where you can jump on and you're not gonna be hurt from missing out on any of the other episodes, the past seasons. That's one of the nice things about Doctor Who, is that when they have perfect jumping on points, and really any season you can jump in and they contain everything into one season. But when they change out the Doctors like they've done now, these are perfect places to jump on and get started. The episodes are probably available on bbcamerica.com. I know they're reruns on BBC all the time, so you can always check your local listings and see if you can't find the last 2 episodes. But they pretty much, since it's a start over, you'll have a few callbacks that if you know about it, then it's kind of fun. It's like an Easter egg, but that's no different than, it's not any worse than watching like a comic book movie and saying, oh, they name some person and you're like, oh, that's this character from this book, I know that. But if you don't know it, it's not going to hurt anything. So I recommend checking it out.
I will definitely give it a shot. It seems like it's always on when I'm flipping around the channels. There's always Doctor Who somewhere on there. So, and I've seen it on Netflix. So
yeah, and if you get it on Netflix, I mean, you can just watch all the past, make sure you get the ones that are not the black and white really old ones, unless you really want to. I think on Netflix, I think it's called like Doctor Who Classic or something like that.
Yeah, I think the ones they start out with on Netflix that aren't part of the classic, I think, is with Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, and if if you're wanting to watch them on Netflix, that's a perfect place to start. And right now, this is season 8, because they started over with season 1 with Christopher Eccleston in their numbering thing. So this is season 8. So if you get on Netflix, you're gonna have 1 through 7 on Netflix. I know you have 1 through 6, and if 7's not on there now, it will be shortly because it's usually a season behind. And so by the time you get caught up, season 8 will be back on there too. So you'll be good.
Sweet.
And there you have it. Those are our roundtable topics for today.
Dun dun dun.
And the world goes round.
It does.
So did
And
we
the
have
Royals
any?
won.
Did they win tonight?
They did.
Good, because the Tigers crushed in the Indians tonight.
Yeah, they did.
So did we get any emails?
Well, people would answer the challenge if our worst producer ever would get the episode posted.
That's a good point. Well, then we'll just have to keep checking the emails in every episode and see when people start responding.
Yeah. Well, they can't respond if they don't know they're supposed to, so I better get that posted.
Yeah, way to go, man.
Hey, I do what I can.
So we'll move on to the main topic for tonight, and that is fall TV preview.
It feels like that needs like theme music or something.
Ding 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 ding. Let's see. We could do like the clowns, because we got a bunch of clowns running this thing.
We are a bunch of clowns. Let's see. What's this? How's that? Does that work?
That's exactly what we need.
Fall TV preview.
Nicely done. Nicely done. So we're looking at, one of the places I like to go to get geeky information is IGN.com. I'm a big fan of the stuff they do over there, and I really like every fall they do a really good preview of the stuff that's coming on, when it's going to get released, what channel it's on. Sometimes they can even give you the time that it's going to be. So, like, if it's going to be a 7 o'clock thing, or and that helps for me to figure out if I'm going to have to change my DVR setup, or maybe choose between something new that's coming out and something that I've been watching for a really long time. And so I enjoy looking at that. Now that's what we're going to go through today. Neither one of us has really dove into this too much, because I think today was the day this was actually put on the interwebs. Yeah,
well, I think it would just make more sense if we just kind of went, instead of going through all this crap, because it's a lot of crap. Yeah. We just talk about the ones we're most looking forward to. And I will start us off. I'm looking forward to Sleepy Hollow coming back for season 2. I really enjoyed season 1. And what I remember when season 1 first started and we watched the first couple of episodes, like, this is awesome, but there's no way they can, continue this. But they did. The entire first season was great. So I'm hoping season 2 will be just as good. Did you watch any Sleepy Hollow?
I did not. That is one that I'm going to have to catch back up on. I think it was on this. I think I had a conflict on the DVR for that one.
Yeah, it premieres September 22nd. It's on Fox. And if I look at my handy deal, that's a Monday.
That's a Monday.
That's a Monday. So 4 weeks from today.
You said 9/22?
Yeah. September 22nd.
That is going to be. I think that's going to be a very popular, day, because I believe Gotham is going to be out that same day.
Yeah, it probably follows Sleepy Hollow would be my guess, since they aren't giving us times. But yeah, I'm glad it's Mondays and not Tuesdays when I bowl. Right. So we record on Monday nights so we can watch these 2 shows and then just be amped for the podcast.
There you go.
Hopefully we'll
Yeah.
be amped.
And speaking of other things that are coming out on 9/22, I'll just go with that as my date. There's a couple of other shows. One is The Big Bang Theory is going to start back up on the 22nd, but the which is always good and everyone enjoys The Big Bang Theory, but is a show that I saw a commercial for it while I was watching Doctor Who, and that is Scorpion.
Yes, on CBS.
That's going to be on CBS on that same Monday. So the question is going to be, how many shows can I record on a Monday night? We've got this is from the same executive. It's executive produced by Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci, and that's the same guys that do Fox's Sleepy Hollow. So if you like Sleepy Hollow, there's a good chance that this one's going to have the same kind of themes or premises or tones to it. It is also by the director of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yes.
So I expect lots of big car chases and explosions and stuff like that.
So what is the premise of Scorpion, since I am in the dark here?
Well, I don't know what this group is brought together for, or if they're trying to catch criminals, or that I don't know. But you have this in the commercial. You had this guy that was putting together a team. He's putting together his team of special people, and instead of getting people who have like military training and that kind of stuff, no, instead he goes and gets this mechanical whiz, like this person who can take things apart and put things back together and do all kinds of things. And that's one person. You have the human calculator as another person. You have this person whose IQ is 190 and is super genius. And then you have there was a fourth person in there. I can't remember what that person was or did, what their specialty was.
So basically, it's a group of really smart people
with
put
no
together.
social skills.
So a bunch of Sheldon Coopers put together to solve crimes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Which it could be a lot of fun. I'm interested to at least check it out. It kind of sounds fun. I'm hoping that that I can find a way to get that recorded, or it might be one that I just have to catch up with afterwards. And
yeah, because there's like 4 things on debuting on Monday night. So, and with my wife recording WWE Monday Night Raw, it's gonna be hard for me to record in much more than that. So
yeah, we'll have to find a way around that for you.
Yeah.
But the other show is The Blacklist. That also comes out on that Monday on a whole nother channel on NBC. So we've got now Fox, CBS, and NBC with some big shows starting back up on the 22nd.
Yeah, they're going strong to the hoop on Monday night for some reason. I guess Monday night's the big night. I don't know. It used to be Thursdays.
I was going to say, it's curious because, you've got Monday Night Football on Monday nights, and I've always thought that the other the other channels kind of looked at that as, well, we can't compete with Monday Night Football. But I mean, I know this last year Monday Night Football hasn't always been, or was never really the best matchups. So maybe they're trying to, or maybe they're hoping that's going to be the same, and they're going to be able to take some of that power away from the NFL. But
I don't know, and I also like to debut something after something that they have that's popular, so they know their fan base is at least going to be there, and then once they see it, then they move it to the night it's actually going to be on.
Right.
So maybe a couple of these shows, like Gotham or something like that, which follows Sleepy Hollow, maybe they want it piggybacked off of Sleepy Hollow, and then they'll move it to like Thursday or something after you've seen it. It's like a drug dealer. Here, have this for free, and then you have to come back for more.
We're gonna get you hooked for a few episodes, and then we're gonna move the time, and you're not even gonna know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I love the Blacklist. Last year, with like 2 episodes to go, our DVR took a crap and stopped recording for like 2 weeks, and it was the last 2 episodes of the Blacklist. So I haven't seen the end of season 1, but I'm sure
I haven't actually seen any of the first season. But people keep telling me I need to go back and watch it, and I've got it on my list of things to do. I just haven't done it yet, and now I've only got 21 days to do that before the second season starts. So.
Yeah. Well, the Blacklist really works because of James Spader, to be quite honest. The female that they cast for the lead agent that is the main character of the show, to me, can't carry a TV show, but boy, James Spader is awesome. So to me, he's the entire show. But that's not a bad thing. So.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out.
Definitely.
Let's see
what
else.
Okay, my turn. Do
it. What do you got?
I'm looking forward to Gotham.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I think that's going to be fantastic. And I'm hoping it's not one of those things where I have a certain idea in my head on what it's supposed to be, and it isn't, and then it ruins it for me, kind of like Iron Man 3. But I don't know. It just looks like it kind of fits into what I like, and that is it looks like it's a crime drama, but then they're going to introduce characters before they become supervillains and whatnot. It's almost like being in like an insider look at, hey, look, it's the Penguin or whatever, as a kid. So I think that part of it's going to be really cool. With that said, I don't know how long that part of it could last. So hopefully the crimes that they have to solve and everything are good enough that we keep tuning in. But right now, I'm just pumped about seeing Gotham.
Yeah, I'm at least excited, and I know the reviews for the first episode. Don't get your hopes up for the first episode, because from what I've heard, it's a typical pilot episode of just trying to get as many people, so many Easter eggs and plugs and cameos in there just to get people hyped about it. So first episode, go in knowing that this is just a pilot, and the second episode, second, third, fourth episodes are where it's gonna have to pick up. It can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see where it's at. I usually stick around for a season. I usually don't drop a show in the middle of the season unless it just completely falls flat for me. So I will be watching at least the first season of Gotham and hoping that it's good enough to keep me coming back for a second. So.
Well, if the trailer is any indication, I think we're going to like it. But that's judging the book by its cover right there.
Yeah. Another show for me that I'm looking forward to is Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
That one comes on Tuesdays. That's going to be a Tuesday nighter. Comes on the 23rd of September is what they're saying here on ABC. And we've got... I'll go ahead, Kip. What are you looking most forward to?
Adrian Palicki!
So it's been announced that she is going to be appearing as Mockingbird. And Mockingbird is a comic book character. She was, at one point, I'm trying to remember. I think she was, in the comic book, she's married to... or she might have been a girlfriend of Hawkeye. So that could be their tie-in. I can't remember if they ever got married. They might have. But she was at least a girlfriend, maybe an ex-wife of Hawkeye. So that could be a nice little tie-in to the Avengers universe movie franchise. Um, so that could be kind of fun. I'm just excited to see where they go with this. Um, how they handle the stuff that went on in there in the last season and the way it ended, and what's going to happen, or how is it going to build up. Can this episode, or can this season build up to Age of Ultron, um, and see where that goes.
Well, they've got a lot to draw from. That's the beauty of it. And the way Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ended last year, it's just like, wow, we got a lot to look forward to, I think. And, if she is tied with Hawkeye and that brings Jeremy Renner on once in a while, my wife is going to be very excited about
that. Yeah, she will be. Yeah, and this is definitely, looking at what I remember of the Marvel movie schedule. Last year in the first season, there was a huge jump, or the show really took off after the Winter Soldier. And I don't think there are any Marvel movies coming out that could tie into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. during this season. I think Age of Ultron is going to be towards the end of season 2. It's next summer. So this is going to be a very good chance, or a very good opportunity, to see if Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can stand on its own 2 feet, or if it's going to be reliant on the movie franchises to kind of keep it going.
Well, with their tie-in with Captain America, last season, and what happened with S.H.I.E.L.D., I think there's easily a season with just that storyline. Especially adding another agent with Mockingbird, or even if it is a limited deal. I really think they've got an opportunity to have a good run for season 2, and not having to lean on the movies.
Yeah, I hope so.
As Morph takes his dog outside.
Yep. Could you see me? I should have muted my mic, but...
Well, I tried to keep talking so the camera would stay on me, but
I make it.
I did everybody a favor and stopped talking, so it went off of my
face. Yeah. Okay, what do you got next, man? Hit me with the next one.
You don't even want to know. It's on page 2. Give me a second here.
Well, here, while you're looking that one up, I'm going to hit you with one that I've got right here, and that's Person of Interest. Person of Interest. This show has, much like the complete change for Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after the Winter Soldier and the demolishment of, or what's the word I'm looking for? The dissolving of S.H.I.E.L.D. and now all these agents are in the wind. Person of Interest kind of did the similar thing, except they weren't part of a big, huge group. They were just this group. There's 4 of them that were working together to basically stop crimes from happening before they happened, type thing. Not as crazy as Minority Report, but there's a computer that's watching and predicting when bad things are going to happen, dropping these people a social security number. Then these people have to go find who that person is, and they could either be a good guy or a bad guy. They don't know. So they've got to kind of follow them, get to know that person, and then try to stop them or help them, depending on their situation. But they always end up trying to do things for the good. Now there is a whole nother computer out there that can do this same thing and has access to the government's Department of Defense database and all its monitoring software. And so these four people are now have new identities and have to have very limited contact with each other, if contact at all. They've got new jobs, and they're still, they're not giving up. They still want to help people. That's what they're here for. And so they kind of play the real life superheroes. And so it's going to be kind of fun to see how they, now that they don't have full access and full anonymity, how are they going to be able to still do what they do and blend into normal citizens with normal jobs? So I really like Person of Interest. I think it's a fun show, and I'm looking forward to this season of it.
Sweet.
And it's another Tuesday nighter on CBS.
Of course it is. Everything comes on the same night. Well, I am skipping all the way till October.
Oh, wow.
Because I can, and I'm going to talk about The Flash.
Ooh.
I am pumped about The Flash, and it's also a Tuesday night, October 7th. And the tie-in with the Arrow, I think, is going to be very strong, which is fine because I really like Arrow as well. So we can go ahead and say I'm looking forward to the Arrow. To Arrow, not the Arrow, sorry. But I think The Flash is going to be a lot of fun. And the guy that they chose to play Barry Allen, I think, fits it perfectly, Grant Gustin. So if it's anywhere as nearly as good as Arrow, we're going to love The Flash, I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm not as looking forward to the Arrow as you are, or to Arrow, sorry.
See, it's easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really easy to say the Arrow.
But the news coming out of Comic-Con was that Ra's al Ghul, who was kind of, him from the Batman universes, in the Batman movies, he is going to be coming to Arrow in season 3. So that's going to be a little interesting. I don't know what all that's going to bring in. There's also some pictures of what the hell's his name? The kid
Adam?
who got the sidekick.
Oh, yeah.
And now they see him in the Red Hood, which there's a Red Arrow in the comic books. So
yeah, but for some reason they're not calling him the Red Arrow. They were calling him something else.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how that ends up playing out. Because I know I've seen some commercials for him, some trailers and stuff with him shooting a bow and arrow. So there's a possibility. Oh, they also don't call Arrow. They just say it's Arrow and not Green Arrow, which in the comic books
don't they
it's
call
Green
him the
Arrow.
Hood?
Well, yeah.
Or something like that. But reading the description of what to look forward to in the season of the Arrow is they're going to have the Wildcat and the Atom in there. And says Willa Holland's Thea is turning to the dark side. She's going to be kind of a dark Speedy. So that's pretty cool. I think the best thing that could happen to Arrow is the two sisters get eliminated. They drive me nuts. They're to me, they're the weakest part of the show.
Yeah.
And they need to either resolve that whole thing or something. For some reason their storyline just annoys me. But everything else works. And they say they're going to also deal with the backstory of Felicity Smoke, which is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, so, and I didn't even mention how hot she is until just now. So,
yeah.
so, Arrow and the Flash.
Yeah, and that one doesn't come out till a lot later, being an October release. I should have my DVR figured out then, and so maybe I can maybe I can make that one work too.
I'm hoping I have Google Fiber by then, so recording 1 million shows on the same night shouldn't be a problem. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, exactly. So what else am I looking forward to here? Oh, what? Well, since we've been in, I don't know. Maybe this is just a theme because we've got Agents of Shield based off of a comic book. We've got Flash based off of a comic book. We've got Arrow based off of a comic book. Well, how about we just keep that theme going with Constantine
I knew that's where you were going, son.
coming out in October 24th on NBC. The fact that this is coming out on NBC instead of something like CW, I am excited for. It's nothing against the CW, but that's not one of the big three television channels: ABC, CBS, NBC. This is coming out on NBC. I'm really excited to see what they do with this. I'm a little worried that it's not going to take to TV as well, or that NBC is going to try to kid-friendly this up, because they are a big, because it is NBC and not a something like FX or AMC where they don't have as many rules on what can be shown and what can't be shown, because Constantine is not a good person. He is not your crystal clean type superhero, and a lot of people refer to him as the anti-hero. He's not a good person, but he does good things in the end.
Yeah, and it looks like the kind of show that just screams to be like on an HBO or something where they can get away with a little bit more. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what that comes out and what that looks like.
Okay, I'm going to completely change from the comic book thing. And I'm going to talk about a show that doesn't have an exact day. They just say it's going to be October on Adult Swim, and that's the Mike Tyson Mysteries. It's an animated show on Adult Swim, so you know it's going to be good. And Mike Tyson solving mysteries. Does it get any better than that? I say it does not.
It's like the Mr. T Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah. I'm liking that.
Yeah,
it's going to be like Scooby-Doo meets, that's what I hope for. That's what I kind of hope it's like. I hope it's a lot like Scooby-Doo, except Mike Tyson is part of the Scooby-Doo crew. And, then they get to do little cameos like with the Harlem Globetrotters. Maybe they can get Evander Holyfield on there and he can bite his ear or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't say if it's going to even be voiced by Mike Tyson. I don't even think it matters. Just the fact that there's a cartoon called Mike Tyson Mysteries, I'm already hooked. I didn't even have to watch the trailer. It's like, yeah, I'll be watching that. That's just no question.
Yeah. So what else you got there?
My last one that I'm really looking forward to is Ascension on the Sci-Fi Channel. It doesn't start till November 24th, but basically it's a sci-fi show. Worried about the Earth, about the people on Earth just pretty much blowing it in the Cold War. The United States and Russia just blowing everybody to bits. They sent 600 men and women and children into space on a century-long voyage, and the show centers around them and their mission to populate another planet. It sounds a little bit like the book Rama. I don't know if you read that one. Is that an Arthur C. Clarke? I believe that is Arthur C. Clarke.
I have no idea. Never heard of it.
Well, it's a little bit like Rama in the fact that it's, a great big spaceship carrying all these people. And Rama, it carries people and creatures of all different origins, and this one's just going to be people, but still, I like the idea. And it's on the Sci-Fi Channel. As Morph and I were talking earlier, it could go either way. Since it's on the Sci-Fi Channel, it could be really good, or it could be Sharknado. So, but I am looking forward to it. Plus, that's Tricia Helfer. That can't hurt. So, that's the shows I'm looking forward to. You got any
I've
more?
got I've got one more that I probably this is not one that I'm gonna record, and it actually comes out next week on
Wow.
Fox. Um, but it's one that I'm curious to see what happens because I enjoy these type of things. I don't know if you remember, there was a show a little while back. It was probably a couple years ago that was kind of like an experiment where they took these people and they basically dumped this group of people into an area, and it was a closed off area and isolated as if the world had ended, or the zombie apocalypse had happened and there were no humans left. They were the last group alive, and they had no electricity, and they had to learn how to basically survive, and they tried to figure it out. It was kind of like a case study type thing.
I remember what you're talking about. I just can't remember the title.
I can't either. I want to say it was like The Experiment or something stupid like that, but there 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 was a Dutch reality TV series that was very similar to that, and Fox is going to try to bring that to the United States with a show called Utopia. And this one is kind of a similar thing where it's um, moves a group of everyday people to an isolated, undeveloped location for an entire year. Throughout the course of the year, the group is followed by cameras 24/7 and challenged to create their own civilization. So, you know, I'll be curious to see how this is handled. I don't like I would hope that the cameras are, if it feels like they're hidden cameras, then I'm okay with it. But if it starts getting that feel of edited, like Survivor type thing, where all these people are doing these, they know cameras are there, and so they're going to be off over here telling about what they were doing. It's like, I don't want that. I want to see these people actually try to survive. Like, I want them to turn it into more of a TV show or a movie type than uh, or even like a documentary, more than just a reality TV series. But I'm always a sucker for watching to see how people can survive in the wilderness and how they try to start over a civilization. So
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If it doesn't turn into Survivor, I think it's going to be a really great show.
yeah,
If like you said, it really ends up being just a study in human behavior, it's going to be fantastic. But if it ends up being a scripted, non-scripted series, if you know what I mean,
right.
then
A scripted reality TV series.
yes, then
Yeah,
it's going to suck. But
yeah.
oh, wait a minute, I did have one more.
What
I
do you got?
totally Z Nation,
Oh,
starting September 12th on the Sci-Fi Network. Again, could go either way, but it takes place 3 years after the zombie virus devastated the United States. So, kind of a post-apocalyptic survivor thing, trying to ride the coattails of The Walking Dead, which is fine.
yeah. I'm okay with
But
that.
but it's got some good people in it. The Harold Perrineau from Lost, and Tom Everett Scott from Southland are in it. So it's got some decent people. I'm at least going to give it a shot.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge zombie guy, but since it takes place 3 years later, I'm hoping it's a lot less about zombies and just more about rebuilding. But
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that's what I've got.
Sounds good to me. I like it.
So basically, the moral of this story is all Morph and I are going to be doing this fall is watching TV.
Is watching a lot of TV.
A lot of TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of going through. I don't really have anything else of new or big things. I've got my standard stuff that I'm looking forward to. Like, I'm a big NCIS fan, so I'll watch NCIS and NCIS Los Angeles, I think, although I don't know when that actually is coming out. because there's a new NCIS coming out, NCIS New Orleans, and I'm not looking forward to that because I think that's just going to be, it's just another stupid spinoff.
Yeah, we got enough of those. Plus they will have to have a moment of silence for Almost Human.
Yeah.
I'm still angry about that. So for that, we'll do this. For them not bringing Almost Human back.
I am still holding out hope that Almost Human will find a way back in another medium. Like, whether it's to Netflix or to Amazon On Demand or iTunes or something that's not put out on TV, an internet-based thing. Because I think there's a big enough, I think there's enough people out there that they would watch it.
Well, apparently not, or they wouldn't have canceled the show. But I talked to the people in my circles all liked it, so I guess I'm not in a major demographic. But I would trade a lot of these shows that we just mentioned for Almost Human coming back. So
yeah,
if you're out there and you made that decision, you suck. Almost Human should still be a thing.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
So I think that will do it. We've been going at this for an hour and a half now, so we should probably wrap this up. So you guys can hope you enjoyed this episode with just the two of us here. We enjoy doing these things, so your feedback is always welcome. You can check out our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can follow us on Twitter at geekvice. You can do Google+. We're on Facebook. Just look up Geekvice.
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere. You can email us at geekvice@gmail.com. Any way you want to get a hold of us, let us know what you're looking forward to coming up this fall. Or if you don't watch TV at all, maybe you don't want to watch any of these. So tell us that too. You can follow Kip on Twitter at Kip Killigan. Logtar's on Twitter at Logtar. I am still completely worthless. I have not joined Twitter yet, although now I have even more people bugging me to join Twitter for nothing else than to listen to other people rant and rave about things. So
that's
and
what
make
it's there
funny
for.
comments. Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening to our ramblings. You got anything left you want to say there, Kip?
Well, it's football season, college football season, so I'm pretty pumped about that. I didn't mention that in my fall TV schedule because it's Geek Vice and nobody cares about sports ball but me. So go Big Red.
Yeah, I got nothing. So if you guys want to tell Kip how Nebraska is really going to suck it up again this year, you can, or you want to just let us know about anything, you can email us at geekvice@gmail.com. See you later.
See ya.